Oh boy, where do we even start with Kristen Stewart? Actually, you know what? Let's start with the good news. Kristen Stewart is living proof that you can have every possible advantage in Hollywood and still manage to catastrophically destroy your career through sheer determination and spectacular decision-making. It's actually kind of impressive, like watching someone fail upwards except they're failing downwards, consistently, for over a decade. And trust me, this is the good part, because it only gets worse from here.
No! God, please, no! No!
Let's go back to 2008. You're Kristen Stewart. You've already worked with David Fincher. You did Panic Room when you were, what, 12? Like it's no big deal. You've got industry parents. You're booking roles. Then Twilight happens. Not just happens, it explodes. $400 million at the box office. And just like that, you're a household name. Teen girls worship you. Studios are throwing money at you. You're dating Robert Pattinson, which means the tabloids are obsessed with you. You're the girl of the moment. I mean, this has to be the easiest slam dunk in celebrity history.
Hey! Come on, man! That's too easy!
All you have to do is simple. Don't screw it up. But nope, she had other plans. So there's Kristen, riding high on Twilight money, dating Robert Pattinson, her co-star, her brand synergy, and she books Snow White and the Huntsman. Great, another franchise. This one makes almost $400 million too. Everything's going so well. And then, and I truly cannot stress this enough, she decides to have an affair with Rupert Sanders, the director of Snow White, who is married and almost 20 years older than her. I mean, why? Of all the terrible decisions available to you at any given moment, why pick the one that's specifically designed to nuke your career and your relationship and the potential franchise and your public image all at once? It's like she looked at her options and thought, you know what would be fun? Professional suicide. Let's do that. So yeah, the photos leak. The internet loses its mind. Pattinson dumps her, Sanders' marriage is broken, the Snow White sequel gets quietly canceled because nobody wants to deal with this mess. One afternoon. That's all it took. One afternoon to destroy everything. Honestly, it's kind of impressive. Most celebrities take years to tank their careers, but Kristen, she did it in a single afternoon, with efficiency. And at this point, I think she deserves a world record for the fastest career destruction of all time.
You could do so, you.
Here's what makes this even funnier. Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart both leave Twilight at the same time, but their careers go in wildly different directions. Pattinson does weird Cronenberg movies, gets respect, dates models, eventually becomes Batman. Somehow turns sparkly vampire guy into serious actor. It's honestly impressive. Stewart vanishes into indie obscurity, thus tiny movies nobody sees. Develops what I can only describe as gas station at 3 a.m. fashion sense. Spends years doing interviews where she complains about how unfair everything is. It's like watching two people get dealt the same hand of cards and one plays it perfectly while the other just eats the cards and then complains that the game was rigged.
Stop it. Get some help.
Fast forward to 2019. Kristen's been in the wilderness for years. Her last few movies tanked. Nobody's thinking about her unless someone mentions Twilight at a party. But wait, here comes Charlie's Angels, the reboot nobody asked for. This'll save her career. Except no, because the entire marketing campaign becomes this weird hostage situation where Elizabeth Banks and Kristen Stewart are basically telling audiences, if you don't see this movie, you're a sexist. That's the pitch. Not this movie is fun, not come watch cool action sequences, just you're a bad person if you don't buy a ticket. Shockingly, and I truly cannot believe this, audiences decided to stay home. The movie bombed spectacularly. Critics hate it, nobody sees it, it becomes a punchline. And Kristen's out there doing press like, well, the patriarchy strikes again. No, Kristen, the movie just sucked. Sometimes movies suck and nobody wants to see them. That's not oppression, that's capitalism. Then comes Underwater in 2020, a perfectly serviceable creature feature that could have been her, hey, I can do horror pivot. Except by this point, Kristen Stewart's name means nothing. The marketing can't figure out what to do with her. Is she the draw? Is she just there? The movie dies quietly. Like, really quietly. I bet you forgot it existed until just now. Hell, I forgot it existed while writing this. That's what happens when you've burned through all your goodwill. You stop being someone people get excited about. You become white noise. Can we talk about the mouth breathing? We need to talk about the mouth breathing. In every single scene, Kristen Stewart looks like she just discovered breathing for the first time and is really excited about it. Mouth hanging open, constant confused expression, like a goldfish that gains sentience but is still figuring out the whole being alive thing. Is it a character choice? A medical condition? A cry for help? I genuinely don't know, but it's in everything. Twilight, Snow White, every indie drama, every interview, just mouth open, breathing loudly, looking confused. At some point, didn't anyone on set say, "Hey Kristen, maybe close your mouth for this take"? No? Nobody? Cool. After the Snow White disaster, Kristen makes what I'm sure she thought was a very sophisticated decision. She retreats into tiny indie movies. You know, prestige films. The kind that play at Sundance and get written up in the New Yorker. The kind where she can be a serious artist instead of a commercial sellout. Which is fine, plenty of actors do the indie thing, except you need to balance it with movies people actually see. That's a trick. You do the Marvel movie for the paycheck, then you do the A24 film so you can feel good about yourself at dinner parties. But Kristen just only does the tiny movies, for years. Movies with budgets smaller than a celebrity wedding, movies that premiere at festivals and then vanish into the streaming void. And then she acts surprised when nobody considers her a movie star anymore. It's like quitting your job to become a full-time poet and then wondering why you can't afford rent. Like, yeah, art is important, but also you need to eat. Somewhere along the way, I'm gonna say around 2016, Kristen Stewart's styling becomes what I can only describe as, I definitely sleep in this outfit. Gone are the red carpet gowns. Gone is the Hollywood glamour. In comes the look of someone who exclusively shops at gas stations and hasn't brushed their hair since the Obama administration. And look, I get it. Rejecting Hollywood beauty standards, authentic self-expression, very brave, much art. But here's the thing. You can only pull off the I don't give a fuck aesthetic when people actually care what you look like. When you're at the top and everyone's watching, going full slob is a power move. When your career's in the toilet and your last 3 movies bombed, it just looks like you gave up. It's the difference between I'm too cool for this and I've been defeated by this. And Kristen's firmly in the latter category. The interviews. Ugh. God, the interviews. At some point, Kristen discovers that if she wraps her career failures in feminist language, some people will nod along sympathetically instead of asking why all her movies keep bombing. So she starts doing these rambling press appearances about Hollywood oppression and gender discrimination and how everything would be different if she were a man. Which is fascinating because Robert Pattinson, her co-star, remember, managed to pivot from Twilight to prestige filmmaking just fine. So clearly it's not about the franchise. And Jennifer Lawrence went from indie darling to biggest actress alive in like 3 years. So clearly it's not about gender. But sure, Kristen, it's definitely the patriarchy. Not the affair, not the bad project choices, not the defensive interviews, not the total lack of charisma in every public appearance. It's systemic oppression. That's why nobody wants to cast you. The best part? She's giving these interviews for movies nobody is seeing, so she's not even working from a position of strength. She's just yelling about injustice while promoting a film that's going to make $4 million domestic. It's like watching someone on a sinking ship complain that the wallpaper pattern is problematic. This one actually makes me laugh. Snow White and the Huntsman makes almost $400 million. The sequel's greenlit. Kristen's locked in. Everything's ready to go. Then the Sanders thing happens and Universal's like, you know what? Let's maybe not bring back the actress who just became a PR nightmare. So they pivot. The sequel becomes The Huntsman: Winter's War. You know who's not in it? Kristen Stewart. You know who is in it? Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron, Jessica Chastain, Emily Blunt. Basically everyone except the person who torpedoed the franchise. And that movie also bombs. But at least they tried. At least they made an effort to salvage something. Meanwhile, Kristen's off doing movies with $2 million budgets and wondering why nobody considers her a franchise player anymore. This is what's so infuriating. The path was right there. You're post-Twilight. You've got name recognition. You pivot into big-budget action or comedy. You do a Marvel movie. You do a Star Wars thing. You keep yourself in the public eye while occasionally doing a prestige drama to remind people you can act. It's not complicated. Everyone does this. It's the standard playbook. But Kristen apparently thought she was above all that. Too sophisticated for crowd pleasers. Too artistic for franchises. Cool. Great. Enjoy your tiny indie movies that 17 people see at film festivals. Meanwhile, Scarlett Johansson's making $20 million per Marvel movie and doing marriage dramas. Jennifer Lawrence did Hunger Games and won an Oscar. You can have both. But no, Kristen chose poorly, repeatedly, for years. Every few years, there's this half-hearted attempt to make Kristen Stewart happen again. Charlie's Angels, that'll work. It doesn't work. Underwater, horror movies are hot right now. Nobody cares.